We are back, Casual Take MMA, with Project Save Jiri Prochazka. As we all know, at UFC 303, Jiri Prochazka got brutally KO'd by Alex Pereira. So I'm about to show you how we can save his legacy. And the first step to doing that is I think he needs to move down to middleweight. I think he should move down to 185. There's nothing left for him at 205 as long as Poatan is the champion. And we all know Jiri has that warrior spirit. He wants to fight for the title. He doesn't want to just beat up on contenders. Now, if Jiri really wants to add to his legacy, he's going to move down and try to become middleweight champion. Now, I know what you're going to say. Jiri can't cut that weight. He's too big, which, yes, he's a huge guy, but he walks around at 205. Apparently, he didn't have to cut any weight to make the fight with Alex Pereira. So if this dude is walking around 205 right now, he's not going to have too much trouble cutting down to 185. Now, I think Jiri needs to take his time and really diet and go down to 185 at a healthy rate and not just cut all the weight on fight week. Because we all know Jiri Prochazka's fight style. He likes to block punches with his face, and that's not compatible with the weight cut. He's probably going to get chinned. But if he really takes his time to cut this weight properly, I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. These dudes at 185 do hit hard, but nothing like Poatan, nothing like these other guys at 205. But that's the first step. I think he needs to drop down to middleweight. And in my opinion, there is two different options from that. Option one would be Jiri Prochazka versus a guy like Paulo Costa. Now, I'm going to let y'all know now, I prefer option one over option two. I want Jiri to get a fight at middleweight and get accustomed to that new weight class. Paulo Costa is 1-4 in his last 5, but he's still an entertaining fighter. We all know Yuri's an entertaining fighter. This would be a fun fight. I think it would be a great fight, very winnable for Jiri Prochazka. Also, if Paulo Costa were to win, I mean, hey, that looks great on his resume. But I think this would be an entertaining fight that the fans would love. Let's do it. And then once Jiri Prochazka gets through Paulo Costa, I think you give him a top 5 contender. We don't know what the top 5 is going to look like in the future, but there's a bunch of fun matchups. I would be super pumped to see a Israel Adesanya versus Jiri, Robert Whittaker, even to see how Jiri would deal with Sean Strickland's pressure. And then we got Khamzat Chimaev down there in the corner. We don't know what's going on with him. He could end up getting one win and become a top 5 guy. Who knows? But yeah, I think Jiri gets a top 5 guy once he runs through Paulo Costa. And then if Jiri Prochazka is to get through a top 5 contender, the only option now is a title shot. Jiri Prochazka versus the middleweight champ, whether that's Dricus du Plessis, whether that's Izzy, whether it's Strickland. We've got new blood coming into the middleweight division. I know he's on Dana's good side for saving UFC 303. Why not give Jiri Prochazka a title fight after all this? Very entertaining fighter. He's going to sell the fight. He's a former champion. Why would you not do it? This is where Jiri Prochazka becomes a GOAT, a 2-division champion, and he's right up there with John Jones. If Dricus is still the champ here, I think that's an interesting matchup. Or if Izzy's the champ, Adesanya versus Prochazka would be such a fun fight. But anyway, let's move on to option 2. Option 2 would be you throw Jiri Prochazka right in the fire and give him Robert Whittaker for a #1 contender fight. Now, we all know Sean Strickland's going to wait around for a title shot, and I do believe he probably will be next, and I don't think Whittaker's going to want to wait around that long. Because if Sean does wait and get the title shot next, Robert Whittaker's not going to wait around for a year, up to a year and a half for the next one. I think he's going to want to be active. These guys respect each other. I think it'd be a fun fight. And like I said earlier, I would not be surprised if Dana White did this because Jiri will be on Dana White's good side. He stepped in on short notice for the second time against Alex Pereira, so he might have a little reward in store. But honestly, I do not know who would win this fight. This is a very tough matchup for both guys. But as a UFC fan, how can you not love this matchup? But moving on, assuming Jiri were to win, he's got to fight for the title next. Now, whether that's DDP, Izzy, Sean, it doesn't matter. Give me Jiri Prochazka as the new middleweight champion. Now, will Jiri Prochazka actually become champion, or am I just biased? I don't know. I do believe he has the skills to do it. We'll just have to see where his chin's at. But I definitely do prefer option 1. I want him to get accustomed to that weight class before you throw him a Robert Whittaker. But I will never, ever be mad at a Jiri Prochazka title fight. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Jiri Prochazka will have success if he moves down to 185? But that's going to do it for me. Make sure to like, subscribe. We out.